excuse me, a few days from now, it will be 9/11, and that brings back such a wave of thoughts that, how can we even begin to think about those days? And how did we think about them then? Truth is, I am wanting to share with you a poem. This is a poem I wrote 3 days after the 9/11 attacks. It's the only way I knew how to work with that emotional broil at the time. And sometimes, I write poems, and some poems you struggle with, and this one just kind of dropped. I also have to confess that I no longer have it in my head, and so I'm having to read parts. But I'm going to begin with something I wrote in my journal many, many years before in 1985 called Why Do I Take Pictures? I am a photographer. So here we have it. I want to share with you a world. I want to tell you that the world is at once an unapproachable glory, the outlines of heaven in our midst. I want to tell you that the world is alive with ongoing miracle, and that the trees are like hard seaweed on the bottom of the Numa Sea. I want, too, to tell you that the thing is broken. The world has veered. The code has been rewritten. I want you to sell your car or house. Finally, I want them to tear down the World Trade Centers. Or better yet, convert them into apartments for the poor. Or, if not that, build them some huge barn between them and make them into the front spires of a very grand cathedral. 9/11, hole in the world. I admit, this thought is not safe, or a thing I say too loud, but hear me out. I've seen them with a foreign eye, like turrets on a godless church, silverine and soaring high, but missing the cathedral. Testimonies to the arrogance of man against every rule of nature, tall with vertical and force, straining upward like welded boxcars, or fingers in the face of God, or spikes in a rotted apple. But today, I weep. And if you will, let me with imagination bleed. Bleed for pagans and believers, the bearded businessmen, the brokers and the broken, the silent mimes and firemen, fathers, daughters, sisters, mothers, and these ever-feuding sons of Abraham. Indeed, Father Abraham has many sons, those who walk by faith and seek a city made by God. But don't we weep to see faith twisted into obscene forms? Today I see with different eyes, and I repent for wearing monocles. Could it be the thing might be more than any one thing at once? Today, I see twin trumpets blasting out a tune to the majesty of man. I see two trees mightier than redwoods, brushing stars and brushed with lemon light like a sky house hotel for leprechauns. I see mighty rivers decked in vivid commerce, old world villages replete with jugglers and silk boats on ropes whizzing up the ditches laden with exotic wares from foreign lands like some grand market tipped upward. I see twin towers like thin lanes of light, bars of gold, beacons on the rim shining out a tale of industry and might an incomprehensible blessing leading a parade. I see within and on each floor, stacked above each other like coins, little towns from Arkansas, complete with hatted men and football teams, the smiling belles now wearing jeans, and the beehive ladies yakking at the hair salon. I see faith in the 24th century. Indeed, we saw a universe with 50,000 centers anchored in a common block. We heard the twine of beating hearts like 10,000 drums. And then the lull, and now the tortured patter of the few. And we felt within ourselves the stuff of horror. Veins and brains and towers like slit arteries sliding into bloody dust before our eyes. They say on the radio today that this is a different country. And I believe it. We are all New Yorkers wearing black. Once there were two towers, tall as Titans, full of grace. She wore the moon within her hair. He wore the sun upon his face. And they walked naked in the garden with I am without shame. Then some devil of a serpent slit the air. One tower fell, and then